Alrighty. Good evening, fellas. All right, cool. Moment. Good morning. Okay, it's morning there. That's good. Alrighty. Yeah, well, good evening, everybody. Yeah, so we're gonna hopefully do some work today in this stream, because last night we answered a lot of questions, had very good discussions. So hopefully today we can actually write some code. Yeah. All right, so what I want to start with today is the dashboard again. I actually just noticed that we're also missing create course button over there. So let's start very simple, and then we'll see how we go with that. Okay, so if we go to the dashboard, Little Leon, good evening. So course form, manage course. Okay, we'll see about that. So let's go, I guess, to this view, which is courses, right? Let's get to this bad boy here, and yeah, let's leave that like that. Yeah, so this would be the handler for that now, right? So, yeah. Okay. And I guess now over here, right, we would have, so we have manage course, yeah. Second, dashboard manage course. Lagusa, good evening, buddy. Yeah, so I suppose we'll want the route here that also routes to this, right? So we'll basically need manage, you know. That's a little bit awkward, right? Because this fell over here, data. Let's see, course. Where am I using this course form now? So I'm using it here inside the course, and I'm using it here, right? So it would be this one, manage course, right? So if we get to this fella over here, right here, we would have to say, okay, so we need, I suppose, use navigate, right? And then here we'll say navigate. No, dashboard manage course, I suppose, right? Let's see. Yeah, exactly, right? And then this cancel should actually take me to courses, right? Yeah, but that's not good. That's not really good, no. something like this, I think. Yeah, right. So that's what we want. Yeah. Dimitrovich, friend. Good evening, buddy. How's life? Okay, let's test this now. Technically, this should have created it, I think. Let's see. Yeah, no, not really, right? Wait a minute. So what are we missing there? Course form. Nice, man. Yeah, it's a bit awkward. Like, give me a second. Okay. Let me go to my API. All right, I see. Okay. All right. All right, I see. All right. Cool. So we'll just put it here and then we'll move it to appropriate place. So let's say handle create course. Then we'll do request dot. I suppose I don't actually have a request here. Okay. We'll obviously do something about that soon, but yeah, I actually think this is a bit of a waste of time right now. Let's see, course form, and we'll create, yeah. Water Serpent, good evening, buddy. Not much, man. Been at work, been with my wife and my kid. Took a nap, and yeah, now pretty much that's what it is. That's how it is. Yeah. What about you, man? Okay, so that's great. I think we've been rated. Let's just shout out to this fella. Shout out. think that's how you do it, right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's pretty much all that there is, really. Yeah. Alrighty, so yeah, so let's go ahead and yeah, I mean, we had that code written before, I think, but it doesn't really matter, right? So let's get back here and let's async away that, right? Star, thank you very much for the raid, man. Have a good night as well, and yeah, hope you are doing well. Okay, so you know what we're actually so what we're gonna do is yeah, we're gonna actually incorporate this. We're gonna localize this stuff to this actual form, right? So in fact, we're gonna just do that, right? I think it's better. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna actually get over here, right? And so we'll actually do something like this, right? We'll do something like this. We're gonna say use navigates, and we're gonna import this abstraction that I wrote over Axios, right? I'm gonna do that, request, blah blah blah. Yes, and let's call this actually handle create, right? Because we're local to this thing. It's still going to be taking the is creating we don't actually need, so we'll also localize that here and just say const yeah, is creating whatever. Yes, use state set is creating, and basically we're going to be pretty much calling this true, right? We can actually try and catch this, right? Catch error, and we can say here finally, right? We're gonna do pretty much that, and here we can use a toaster of some kind if this fails. So we're gonna say this dot error, and this, yeah, maybe a little bit more original error. We failed to create your car. Video course, yeah, exactly. So something like that, right? For now, let's take a look at that. Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. This, yeah. Well, good luck building a product that doesn't have a front end, my friend. When you build one, let me know. Can you get a product tour? I would just say go and sign up. It takes 20 seconds to sign up. I think it's better if you just, and then if something, I think it's a very simple UI, so it's a very simple thing to go through, right? And if it's not, then I'm happy to help. Yes. And it's pretty much going to be the same here, right? So handle update should pretty much be very similar, right? So if we do this, and then we'll see, right? But something like this, and this should, I suppose, let's actually take a look at my Swagger. Where is it? Put, right? No. Sections, to sort, lecture. Yeah, you actually will. Yeah, no, actually, never mind. It's fine. Yeah, so here it is, right? So this is the endpoint and it takes the same body, right? So let's grab this fella here and yeah, right? So we're gonna do something like this. This ID we can get, I guess, from the URL parameters, I suppose, right? Or how are we actually gonna get, how are we gonna pass this? We'll see. is going to be some sort of ID, right? So this is, let's turn this into a template, literal, and and yeah. Just do it like this. Then let's do it like this. Hello everyone, I'm passionate about building e-commerce websites, learning Salesforce CMS because I'm looking at your role in industry. Is it a good way to improve towards e-commerce as web dev? I don't actually know anybody using a Salesforce CMS, right? You probably want to I mean, when it comes to Salesforce and HubSpot and stuff, those products are mostly, their epicenter of them is them being CRMs, right? You're not gonna do well to yourself if you want to be a software engineer learning things like that, right? So I don't think so. I don't think that's a well invested time. No. No, definitely no. All right. I'll just try like this, and we'll see in a moment, right? Yeah. All right, so yeah, so now when we localize that here, right, I guess what we want to do, right, is, yeah, I think that the good UX would be if we create this, that we actually, so let's see what I'm actually returning from my API, right? So if we go to my, if we go to our resource, right, to the course resource here, right, let's take a look at that controller. Let's go create course, right? We create the course, we enroll ourselves into the course, we add the course author, which is me, the creator, and then we actually do respond back with the course, right? So that's useful, right? Because we're gonna get back the ID. So in our UI, right, handle create, like right over here, since we are waiting for this anyway, we can say data, blah blah blah, and then we can navigate on success, right? So we can say navigate. Exactly, right? There's no resources that you need. I mean, the thing is, you have all the resources in the world, right? It has never been easier to learn programming, but also you have to build. The only way to learn to program is to build things. To talk about programming is useless. To watch someone else do it is useless for the most part. You know, you can watch me to get inspired, ask a question or two, and see how is it done, but you will not learn programming by not doing it, right? So the only advice that any tangible advice, any realistic advice is you have to build things. You have to build real things, real products, not some lead code crap so you can get a job somewhere. No, you need to build the actual products for which you want to offer your services. So if you want to offer services in building websites, then build websites, right? If you want to build CPU drivers, then write C or Rust or something like that, right? AR, good evening, buddy. So the only real advice is you have to write code in order to learn programming, right? There's no other way. Other way does not exist. It never did and it never will. Where is it? Here, right? Okay. My pleasure, man. Right, let's take a look. Free. Yeah, okay, great. So that works, right? So we do get redirected there. That's perfect. Then we can start adding sections and stuff, right? Yeah. Okay, I see. Then we probably want to make this button loading when it's actually creating it, right? So yeah, that's actually good, right? So that's good. That's good. Yeah. Now the editing part is going to be interesting, right? Let's see if we actually okay, so that actually did work. That's perfect, I guess. Yeah, exactly. That's great. Let's just do the little local state type of stuff, and then we're good with that. I'm taking a wild guess. No, I don't have a designer, no. This is a side project I do in the evening hours, and the whole platform is built inside the stream. So no, I do not have a designer, no. Leo, my friend, good evening. Where have you been, man? I got worried. So it's pretty much, it's almost identical, right? So we will unify this, maybe. Ah, you're in Estonia, nice, man. When does your military service start, man? Nice, man. Super nice, super nice. In a couple of weeks. Cool, cool, man. Cool, super nice. Oh, I see, I see. Okay, I see. No, so this is actually fine. I think the only thing... Wait a minute. Good, man. Good. It's good. Been at work today. We are planning. It's an OKR plannings for next quarter, so I'm in the meetings pretty much almost the whole day, every day. And then yeah, wife and kid, and yeah, now hanging out with you guys here a bit. Pretty much, yeah. I see. Okay, dashboard courses. Yeah. Doing, my friend. Good evening. Tombo1234. Hello together. Thank you very much for the prime, man. I appreciate it. Thanks a lot, buddy. So yeah, so we can see basically that this cancel is slightly useless now, right? So we need, so yeah, that's the shitty part of localizing that those handlers, right? To that form, right? So that's kind of the downside of it, right? Because we need to really pass this from the outside, right? But we're using the same form in two different places in two different ways, right? We have the dashboard courses thing, which yeah, we have the dashboard courses, but we also have where is it? How did we refactor this recently? So we have that. Yeah, so and then we have this view. Okay, so it's this really view, right, that we care about. And then yeah, course form here. Okay, I see. I see. All right. Cool. Okay. So let's then stick to this, right? That's what it is. So this is actually fine. Yeah, it's what it is, right? It sucks a bit, but that's how it is. So let's get back over here. And then we're gonna change it slightly, right? So we're gonna do this. 25 gold, buddy. Good evening. Thanks for the resub, man. Appreciate it. Get courses index, course form dashboard. Yeah, so we'll need to move this fella outside, unfortunately. Yeah. Yeah, so let's put it out. It doesn't really matter, right? It's okay. And then we'll it's just a very boring stuff we're doing right now. But it's okay. Sometimes. Yeah, don't do that, Leo. You know that's not type of a stream we do here, right? Navigate. Yeah, so let's grab those fellas over here. Yeah. Use state. This is a chill stream, right? We only program here, no bullshit. I don't give a shit about hype trains and stuff like that, right? I wish I can just completely ban emojis as well, but apparently it's not possible. Ah, got it. Got it. Okay, fair enough. Yeah. Then we'll do something with this actually. Handle update, right? Yeah. Makes no sense in that context, right? Okay. So going back here and going back here, and going with this. Okay. See what I didn't like. Let's get rid of that and that, and yeah, I guess we now need to give it back the props. Where is it? So handle tape, update, and console, right? Something like that. Then let's get rid of this fella here. Cool. All right, so that's better now, right? That's how it was at least, and then that's good. And then if we actually go back to courses and create it, right? We do this and that. Okay, that's better. Okay, cool. Great. Yeah, so the only really difference that I'm going to do just to kind of make this a little bit more localized, right, is I'm going to actually yeah, I mean, I think you need to give it a time, right? You need to fail enough of time until it becomes stable, right? So yeah, but that's the experience with Linux generally until you kind of start getting a hang of it, right? All right, cool. All right, great. So let's kind of play with this a bit. So we need to, let me just see, what do we have in production right now? Yeah, actually, yeah. If we actually go to courses, yeah, there are none in production. I don't know what umlauts are, man. Okay. All right, that's great, right? I guess. But let's push this crap now, at least, right? So we have that. This I think we've done last stream, just a bunch of testing, right? And then I guess so I can actually, in fact, remove the sections already. I guess I've implemented that in the API. Maybe one of the previous streams, right? Yeah, exactly. Thank you everybody for your follows. Appreciate it. Let me just grab a bit of water here. 1 second. Nice. Nothing better than fresh cold water. Okay, cool. So this is a yeah. Just thinking what we should do next, right? So figuring a little bit out. So this does that, right? So let's just click around a bit. Yeah, right. Okay. Well, let's push this stuff that we currently have. Yeah, this is something, whatever. Let's push this to production immediately. We'll also clean that up in time. I'll just implicitly return here, right? Yeah, this is this is not really done properly, but we can push it. But it's not done properly yet. We'll do that now. Yeah. Update courses. Use you, right? Let's go to our Cloudflare pages actually immediately before we actually push it. So let's try syncing that. Ah, Jesus Christ. Are temporarily unavailable. Interesting. All right, let's see if this is being deployed right now. And I suppose it is, right? Deployments, it seems Cloudflare is lagging a bit. Let's just take a look at our Grafana and Prometheus logs. I don't remember if I've taken a look to them. So did we have any errors past 24 hours? No. This is just front-end facing errors related to the service worker. So that's great. Okay, this is deploying. That's great. Super. Great. Let's go back to the UI. What's the Grafana logger? If you mean what do I use to log things, my API is written in Fastify and logs are sent using Pino. Pino is the logger, but then I have Roglottate and Loki and Prometheus, Grafana. It's a pretty complicated setup, yeah, because I did all my infrastructure in Hetzner. So yeah. In simple words, if we go to programmer network infrastructure, I can basically give you a sneak peek into when you go and sign up on programmer network. I can give you a sneak peek in what's actually happening, right? So if you take a look at our infrastructure, right, this is how I've done it. So we have our front end on Cloudflare pages. I'm using the Hetzner internal firewall to only allow traffic from IPv4 and IPv6 IP ranges from Cloudflare. This is my internal services basically this is my Grafana. So I have Prometheus, Node Exporter, Postgres Exporter. Those are all Docker images. and each serve different purpose. Alert manager I use to alert my Prometheus errors, Grafana, to do alerting from Grafana. So when I don't know, 500 happens on my API, I send a message to my Slack. Think of this as centric.js, just free. Google Cadvisor, I use it to monitor performance of Docker images. Certbot I use as a cron job to renew the SSL certificates for Programmer Network. And there's 3 of them: Scheduler, Grafana, and our Fastify API. And then we use Postgres and Redis, and we use SQLize ORM for Postgres, just to simplify the generic CRUD operations, so we don't write manual SQL, right? Then we have Nginx here, again, mostly used for Certbot because it's internal load balancer, so it doesn't really balance anything, and the whole infrastructure is in front. There's a Cloudflare in front of it. So when you go to Programmer Network, then there's a bunch of stuff that I have. There's a bunch of stuff I have on Cloudflare, page rules, firewall, etc., etc., etc. Yeah. So that's in short, that's what we have. And there's a task scheduler that I didn't. This is like a. Think of this like a simple Google Cloud Platform PubSub or RabbitMQ or whatever, but I didn't deploy that yet. Hello, Alexander Van den Nobel. Good evening, my friend. I'm always happy to see you. Thank you for coming by. I know that you have a busy schedule. Let me just copy that question on in VS Code so people who are watching can see it. So the question is a very good question. Hello, Alexander. How are you today? I'm curious, how much are you paying now on Hetzner against AWS or GCP? So what I'm paying on Hetzner now is around 20 euros, and it's a huge overkill because we don't have that much traffic. So even if I paid 5 or 10 euros a month, Programmer Network would still be fine. Give me 1 second. And so let's discuss that just for a moment, right? Because it's a very good question. I'll give you my insight into infrastructure, right? So if we go to Programmer Network Hetzner instance, I'm paying 21.13 euros a month for hosting and around 5 euros for backup, for regular backups, right? Even though I do other backups of my database and stuff on daily, 4 times a day, right? But I have a cron job that does that, etc. But is this necessary currently for Programmer Network? No, absolutely not. I could pay something as with twice less resources, it would almost be the same. How do I know that? Is that out of the ass data? Of course not. If we take a look at the node exporter, right? If we take a look at if we monitor our services and our host system, we can see that right now only 14% of the CPU on my Hetzner is used, 8% of memory, etc., right? So that means that technically, right, 10 euros a month would be sufficient, right? Because we do have more than 1,000 users registered on Programmer Network, but they're not active, right? Now, how would this compare to AWS, GCP, etc., right? So GCP would be a lot more expensive. Of course, ignoring the free trial. If you use GCP free trial, it would be free. So technically, we could be hosting this now on GCP for free because they have a very generous 1-year trial, right? Why are we not doing that would be a great follow-up question. The reason why I'm not doing that is because there's really no way on GCP to say, so the beauty of Hetzner, the beauty of DigitalOcean, the beauty of Linode and those services that you can say, I have $20 a month to pay for my hosting. And that's never going to be 21 or 30 or 50 or 5,000. It's always going to be 20. And if somebody DDoSes you, or if somebody, or if you just reach the limit of resources, your server is going to just fail, right? It's going to throttle, right? So that's not the case with GCP. In simple words, it's very difficult to constrain money on GCP and AWS. You put your card in there, and then there's no way to say, look, only take 20 euros a month. Never go above that, right? You cannot do that, right? And the nature of the platform itself is me building everything alone, from backend, front-end design, CSS, infrastructure and stuff. I don't want to have that on top of my head, right? I don't want to be thinking. Well, yeah, I mean, at Hetzner, right? I'm paying. This is fixed price. If we take a look at this CX41 on Hetzner, right? It has a fixed price, right? And then you don't really need to. So this is mine, CX41, and it's very cheap. And again, it's a huge overkill. The reason why I'm paying for this is because, number one, I don't care about 20 euros. I spend that on 3 coffees here in Copenhagen. And 2, I want to have space to add services, experiment with our infrastructure, etc. So I didn't want to get 5 euros one and then be constantly constrained. But you can see they have very generous stuff. Like for 8 euros, right, you can get 3 CPUs, 4 gigs of RAM, right? So, right? Yeah, but I don't care, right? I've been using Hetzner for almost 20 years, right? In 2005, I believe, is the first service that I ever deployed in Hetzner, right? Well, it wasn't a service, it was WordPress, but it was still almost 20 years ago, right? So I don't care if there's something cheaper or not. This is already free, right? Is something 20 euros or 25 euros or 19 euros? I don't care, right? You get what I mean. That's I don't care, literally. If it's 20 euros or 30 euros, I don't care. If it's 50 euros, I would care because of just being reasonable, but not because of 50 euros rather, right? I'm not a multimillionaire, man. I'm a tech lead. I make enough of money to be able to afford 20 euros hosting, right? If you're a software engineer and you can't afford the hosting of that's 20 euros, then you're doing something wrong. It's simple like that, right? So anyway, going back to the discussion, who cares, right? So but what I wanted to say is this: really anything here up until here would suffice Programmer Network, right? So this thing here, this would also work on Programmer Network as well, right? But of course, when the novel, now comes the other part, right? Exactly, 100%. Now, of course, we cannot neglect one fundamental thing here, and that is bare metal on premise costs time. So this crap here, this is irrelevant. This is free. I don't consider this a price, but my time that I spent maintaining this infrastructure costs a lot more, right? Because my hourly rate, like if this wasn't my side project, if this was a company that I had DevOps engineers employed, their hourly rates are what, 100, 200 euros, right? And that's where cloud is. Exactly. So that's where cloud can get almost cheaper, especially if you're an early age startup. You definitely don't want to deal with infrastructure. You want to build features, you want to solve customer problems, because again, as I said many times, no customer comes to your website and says, wow, this must be hosted on Hetzner, it's so fast. No, customers come and they either find value in your product or not, right? So in simple words, nobody cares about infrastructure. Only time when people care about infrastructure, or to say your customers, is when it doesn't work. When it works, it's considered, it's implicit, it's expected to work. With that said, yeah, so this price is irrelevant, but the price of doing this, maintaining this, making sure it's safe, secure, making sure those certificates are updated, making sure dependencies are updated, that costs money, not the 20 euros hosting, right? Do you think Git Kraken steals code? That would be unfair for me to claim. I would never claim something that I cannot prove, right? So if you can prove that, well, I don't know. But it doesn't really matter, right? Because steals what code, right? That's a very complicated subject, play one game, right? Because when you say steal code, to what degree, right? I mean, ChatGPT has scraped billions of lines of code which is publicly available, right? So which exactly code? Do they steal privately enclosed code under NDA? Probably not, because they would be dealing with billions of dollars of fine. Do they do something with the code that's publicly available? Well, everybody does. How do you think that your code pilot works? Or how do you think that ChatGPT knows what it does, right? It had to get that input from somewhere, right? Rahman, good evening, buddy. So it's not stealing, right? Because what is stealing? We would have to define a constraint there to be able to further carry on the discussion. When you say, do you think that Gridkraken steals code, you need to define steal, right? What does that mean? So that is the difference, right? So yeah, but Noble, that's it. So Hetzner can be super cheap, and many, not just Hetzner. I use Hetzner again because I used it for many years. I'm not saying it's best, it's worst. It's good for me. Is it good for you? Who knows, right? I make decisions which are good for me, not good for others, right? So in that sense, I'm sure that there are other hostings which are cheaper or even better, whatever. But I think the point is rather cloud or on-premise, and yeah. Scan and interpret like GitHub and Gitpod. Well, again, there's a legal aspect to that, right? So you would need to be more precise, right? I don't think that GitHub does that to private repositories, right? Not because they don't want to do it, not because Microsoft is like a holy grail of morale, right? It's rather, this would be very, very scary, and you could get very easily sued, right? I don't think that any of those services are actually depending, right? There's various levels of analytics that you can do on certain data. So you get what I mean. So we would have to define, what do we mean by taking code? What exactly from the code, right? Are they scanning the code and taking some analytics, inferring some data, not from the code itself, but how the code is written, which languages people use, what features of languages are used? Probably yes, but then that's probably legally allowed in a way. So there's each one of those clauses are legally described, right? What you can and cannot do. When it comes to tracking, there's a concept of user identifiable data, right? And user identifiable data is usually by SOC 2 certification and other certifications, what you have to get rid of. So in certain aspects of this, it's defined what is treated as data that you can use to identify the user and stuff. So the same goes here for the code. They probably have certain rules on what you can and cannot take, right? Yeah, so Van den Noble, I can tell you my summary of hosting. If this product would ever become something, I would instantly move into the cloud. So don't by no means mistake my current usage of Hetzner with something that I would do, because again, I would always use cloud so I can focus on building the product. And I could minimize the amount of time that I have to manually scale. So yes, I would pay more money, which is also questionable because you have to account for the man hours and stuff like that. But if this product would ever become something, I would instantly move it to the cloud. I would move it to GCP in 2 seconds, configure GCP in 1 day, right? Add any service I want. I don't know, if I need BigQuery to store the data, as a warehouse, I would use PubSub, Data Store, Cloud Run, you name it, APG Gateway. It's infinite services they have. I mean, we use GCP at Dream Data where I work, and I'm mind blown. Actually, every now and then I go to Google's office here in Copenhagen. I think we're going again in 2 weeks to some workshop again. It's incredible what GCP has. And I think also AWS as well. But at this stage of this project, I would never do that, no, because there's no point. It's pointless, right? So for sure, if you want to test out things, develop as I do with this platform, 100% go with Hetzner or something like that. Hetzner, DigitalOcean. There's an AWS service called, I think it was called Lighthouse or something. Wait. Lightsail. No. My pleasure. Let me just suggest one more service that potentially can be used. There's something called AWS. So this service that AWS released several years ago is basically, give me a second, I think it's this, or was it Lighthouse? Wait, I think I actually, yeah, it is was it I think it was Lightsail. I think I nailed it. So this is basically what AWS did to kind of try messing up with DigitalOcean, right? Like, why am I not... Where's my Lightsail, man? Are you kidding me, bro? Why did I zoom to oblivion? Yeah, oh, okay, they changed the landing page. That's why I don't see it. Where's the pricing, man? Oh yeah, here it is. Sorry, my bad. I found it. So AWS, Amazon, basically, right? They released this service, Vanda Noble, I think 3-4 years ago, if I recall, to counter DigitalOcean, right? Because DigitalOcean has been for us nerds for many years, has been a place for cheap hosting, right? So AWS, I think that's my assumption, they probably wanted to just shit on this company here, right? So you can see on Lightsail as well, you have super cheap things, right? You have $3 a month, 5, 10, 20, and you can see for $20 you get 4 gigs of RAM, 2 CPUs, 80 gigs SSD, 4 terabytes transfer as well, right? And this is on the AWS, right? So if this gives you more comfort, so for example, if you're already using AWS and you wanna kind of start on a lower tiers, right? Then you could also use something like this, right? If your company already operates on top of AWS, this also wouldn't be a useless thing, because you can see here, you can get some object storage like S3 bucket, right? You can get managed database, right? This is also very good. Having a managed database for $15 a month. Look at this. This is incredible, right? Because the least thing you want to do is you want to get with, you want to deal with databases, right? So this is a fair deal as well, right? And then you can see you can even add a load balancer and stuff, but we can also do that, right? So if we get over here, right, you can see that I also have basically, obviously I'm using the firewall already. We have floating IPs, but if I basically wanted, right, if I wanted this, I could basically add a load balancer in front. So what, for example, I could maybe create a new server. I could create a new server, maybe located right in the US. And then I could add a load balancer. So what you could do here, Vanda Noble, say that you wanted to host things on Hetzner, you wanted to kind of deal with the load, reduce the latency for the customers in different parts of the world. You could basically now create another server of your own in the US, maybe another in Asia, and then you would create a load balancer here and create load balancing rules to balance to route the traffic based, right? Yeah, that's just how it is, right? Yep. All right. That's what it is. Let's actually see, did anyone actually sign up today? No, not yet. Okay. Alrighty. My pleasure, man. My pleasure. Let's see, why did this fail? finished cloning files, fail internal error. Yeah, it seems that there's something. Let's rerun this. So it seems Cloudflare is having a... Why do people do this? Who knows, man? As a lot of people are young here, they're immature, and they're just idiots. So, I mean, you don't have to be young to be an idiot. There are plenty of adults who are complete fucking morons, right? So that's why. Don't pay attention to that. I mean, inherently, people are fucked in the head, right? I mean, an average IQ of a Twitch viewer is like not more than 55, probably. So that's just how it is, right? Yeah, because you're cultured, man. You have reason and logic, and you know, you don't do stupid shit. I get you, right? Most people, right? But that's what it is, right? The world is filled with idiots. That's just how it is. Always has been and always gonna be, and that's fine, right? I missed the party. No. I think somebody was just spamming a chat for like a minute. I just banned him, and then someone asked, hey, why do people do that? And I'm just saying, yeah, some people are just fundamentally idiots. That's all. Okay, so that's great. So I actually like that. Let's just see if Cloudflare basically it's gonna... Yeah, so it seems, yeah, Cloudflare was just lagging a bit, right? So let's see. Thank you, everybody, for your follows. Hope you are learning something at least. Yeah, so that's great. I mean, it's fine, right? I mean, this platform is not very it's not made for this, right? This platform is made for gamers inherently. Not, I mean, I played games my whole life, so I'm not saying that every single gamer is a child, but this is inherently a very population on this platform is very young, and that doesn't imply that it's bad. I just mean that it's young and also it's gamers. I mean, if you go to most of the streams, you can see that the articulation and the way that people write is on a level of apes, literally. You have a bunch of people writing lol, ruffle, and whatever those things even mean. Some of them I don't even know, emojis, right? So that's what it is. So it's not, I cannot blame. It's more that it would be nice if there was a platform for this type of stuff, right? Rather than needing to stream on a gaming platform. I'm also streaming right now on YouTube. Yeah. Well, that's the problem with anonymity. Anonymity doesn't carry any responsibility, right? So when you can be fully anonymous, I have a huge problem with that, right? And when I was building Programmer Network, I wanted to do something about it, but it's impossible. The biggest problem with anonymity is that there's no responsibility, because people, you know, they bully other people online, they say bad things, they do all sorts of really bad stuff, and they carry no responsibility for that. And that is the problem, because some of those things that people do have actually and make impact on some other people, but due to that anonymity, they carry no responsibility, right? That's why platforms like Twitter and Facebook and LinkedIn to the lesser degree, they failed, right? Because you can just, not to say that this platform, if it ever becomes something, isn't gonna fail, right? Because anonymity is the cancer of social interaction in that sense, because people are not gonna use that anonymity to do good. They will usually hide behind their fake name and fake picture, right? To do stupid shit, right? And what can you do about it? Not much, right? Because if you enforce it, nobody's gonna sign up. But then maybe that's what it is. Should one say, hey, I'm gonna actually build a platform for people who want to stay behind their name, right? Wouldn't that be cool, right? But then you can't do it, right? I mean, most people, if I go to production, Programmer Network now, right? If we go to production, yeah, I mean, actually, you can see some people actually enter their name, because on Programmer Network, I allow this anonymous mode. When you're signing up, you can say, I don't want to share my, right? But you can see a lot of people do share their name, but a lot of them don't, right? And I get that. It's not it's not coming from a judgmental perspective. It's just people are not willing to act behind their real identity, right? And how do you solve that? Who knows, right? If those billion-dollar companies can't solve it, certainly I can't, right? So that's just, what can you do? That's just how it is, right? Yeah, there's something definitely wrong with Cloudflare. I mean, I think their services. Wait, Cloudflare status. Yeah, yeah. Yes, so you can see that they're actually having some. We're still seeing gradual improvements and working to restore full functionality. It's kind of funny. I've been using Cloudflare for so many years, probably a decade and a half. And I think this is maybe the first time that I see them having issues. It's kind of funny. It's my favorite company. I'm actually going to the Cloudflare event here in Copenhagen in a couple of days. Let me actually see when it is. I'm actually looking forward to that very, very much. Let me see when is it. I think it's this month. Cloudflare. Let me just find it. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Okay, it's great. Yeah, maybe. I mean, it's a valid point, right? But I think the change always comes from people, right? We often build products and we have high expectations, right? But it's the same with video games. Like people sometimes say, you know, oh, video games have gotten worse. Video games have this. It's not true. I disagree with that. People have changed. Video games are video games, right? And video games and the whole trends in the world, they follow what people do and think, right? So I think when people change, then things will change, right? I don't think that the product is going to fix that. You know, you get what I mean? If majority of people want to hide anonymous behind fake names and share dick pictures, right? That's not the problem of technology, that's the problem of culture, right? A technology cannot solve that, right? You have to go into the problem, why people want to do that. It is. Cloudflare is super big, yeah, absolutely. Okay, so we have this, and pretty much now we need this as well, right? So yeah, 100%, 100%. Yeah, so it's pretty much the same crap, right? Yeah. It's pretty much the same thing, right? Yeah. We're almost going to say here, right? Yeah. Then we'll see about this, but I suppose it's going to be like that, right? Have you ever thought about why the internet was created? I don't think that you have to wonder about that, right? I mean, everything is created for either financial or economic system, or to improve collaboration or communication. It's like saying, why was phone invented, right? Why was computers were invented? Because of economy, right? Well, because of two things: war and economy, right? You know. But internet was invented like any other medium, right? Why were, you know, to sell, advertise, to communicate, to connect people, right? Yeah. Okay. So if we go to yeah, exactly. Vite, or whatever is pronounced. Okay, great. That's great. Okay, great. and then it's gonna be the same. Yeah, exactly, right? Yeah. What do you get from the experience? It's a very good question. So the question is, streaming on Twitch, what do I get out of this? I think so. Let me just copy this question. I think it's a very, very good one. So basically, streaming on Twitch financially is useless, right? I could probably make more money in 1 hour consulting than in a year on Twitch, right? So that is not it, right? So from that perspective, Twitch is useless, right? It's useless not because... It's useless because things which people can get for free, they will get for free. So if people could watch movies on Netflix for free, they wouldn't pay for Netflix. So it's the same here, right? So from that perspective, the culture is as such that people are not very eager to subscribe. And I'm not talking about my stream. If you take a look at the ratio, so if you look at the ratio of viewers, followers, viewers and subscribers, it's a super disconnected thing. You can have, if you take a look at the most popular streamers, you know, they might have 2 million followers and there's like 2,000 people watching, right? And then out of those 2,000 people, I don't know, very small percentage, right? So from that perspective, it's useless. Now, where it's very useful and why I stream is because, you know, we have more than 1,000 people signed up on Programmer Network. Many of them are actually using the platform to some degree. And I've got a lot of feedback, you know, so what you get, and that's not money, is actually testers, right? People, early adopters, testers and stuff like that, right? But from the financial perspective, Twitch is completely useless, right? So it's nothing, right? I think that this stream makes $40-50 a month, right? That's hilarious, right? Exactly, but you get this, it's fun. So I do this because it's fun, don't take me wrong. So the number one reason why I do this is fun, right? I don't enforce this, I don't put pressure on myself. I stream when I feel like it. I might not stream, you know, for 10 days again, or I might stream next 10 days every night. So for me, it's a hobby, right? And I intend to keep it like that as long as the stream exists, right? So it's not about gain, right? If I wanted gain, then I would do consulting projects, right, in this same time and make shit tons of money, right? So there's no secret. So it's fun, and then engagement and people and stuff. Because think about it, if you build a platform now yourself, where do you get the people, right? You have to advertise, you have to put a lot of effort as well on getting that platform somewhere so people can actually see it, right? So that's the only benefit. Apart from that, and to not be ungrateful, actually, just to mention that about the subs, we have enough of subs, right, that cover this bill of Programmer Network, right? And I find that super fun. So actually, I am grateful, not because of financially thing, because honestly, it wouldn't make difference. I would pay for it anyway. But my initial idea would be, how awesome would it be to pay for the platform that's running by community, right? Everybody chips in $5 a month and you build great things. That was the original plan, and you get what I mean. So if I had 1,000 subs, then I would be able to hire more people on Fiverr, you know, hire a designer. So that was the initial idea. Hello, Steph on YouTube, right? But that's not going to work out like that, because there's simply not enough of people, right? I mean, oftentimes, for the most part, I'm in top first row of this category of programmers, right, on Twitch. And I have like 60, 50, 60, 70 average viewers. So you can see there isn't audience for this really, at least not much. Yeah. And then I mean, some of those streams are exceptions. I actually usually just code in the stream. And that's not what audience on Twitch wants. Audience wants influencers, just chit chat and stuff like that, right? And I mostly don't do that. I show up, I code, and then I leave, right? So that's also the difference. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Exactly. Nitrogen, 100%, man. You pretty much nailed it. Yes, 100%. That's all that there is. Either talk some crap, right? Or 100%. Yeah. Absolutely agree with you, 100%. And don't take me wrong, that's fine, right? Nobody is forcing me to do this, nor you to watch this, right? So in a way, it's a fair. I'm not suggesting it's not a fair play, right? It's what it is. It's more that the question was that, and I just had to elaborate. But it's not that there's something inherently wrong with it. It's how it is, and honestly, let's face it, programming is probably not the most fun stuff you can watch, right? So don't misunderstand me by no means, right? Programming is probably not the cradle of fun, right? Yeah, I mean, this whole programming network was built in a stream, right? So we're constantly we're constantly doing that, right? I mean, this stream is exactly about building stuff, right? So for sure, man, absolutely. That's why I'm also here, right? There's too much stuff out there, right? And all of us have so many possibilities to watch, to consume infinite amount of content, right? That it's hard for people to commit to really anything. I get that, right? It's just an enormous amount of stuff you can do. What is your opinion on coding challenges? Lead code. It's a very bad opinion. Yeah, I've interviewed a bunch of people in my career. I work in management as a tech lead, and previously I was a team lead, and I would never. It's horrible. It's absolutely disastrous. It insults my intelligence. But I understand why it exists and why it has to exist. And for unicorn companies that get hundreds of thousands of applicants, it does make sense for them. The problem is that you have those small shitty companies, like the companies where most of us work, that try to mimic what Google does, right? And they miserably fail, right? You should be shaping up the skills which are tangible, pragmatic, which provide some value to you. When you get a job, you're not going to be doing lead codes. You're going to be building buttons or APIs or infrastructure or shit like that. You're not going to be writing nested for loops or anything like that. So hence, absolutely huge waste of time. Huge waste of time. Huge waste of time. Steph, thank you very much, buddy. Thank you very much. Have a good one, man. Again, look, should you know some algorithms and data structures? Sure, right? You learn that that's not a matter of choice. You learn that by anyway. Even if you never touch it explicitly, you will implicitly learn it, right? I'll always give you my most honest opinion. This is not a type of a stream. I'm not an influencer. I'm not trying to gain people to follow me and stuff. I don't care, right? For me, those things are a huge waste of time. Now, if something is fun for you, then of course it's not a waste of time, because then everything is waste of time. So don't take me wrong. I'm mostly speaking in the context of what people who want to learn to program should focus on. If something is fun for you, then that's clearly, it cannot be, then Netflix is a waste of time, and running is a waste of time, and sports is a waste of time, right? So I get that. But I'm just talking in a domain, if you want to spend your time doing something, you should spend your time building products, right? And building up tangible skills that can actually provide some value. Those lead code challenges are not going to provide that value, right? Would those challenges provide value to some low-level software engineer who's working on improving databases and CPU drivers, GPU drivers and stuff? Sure, right? Everything has a context. But somebody at Google or Facebook or three-man startup is not going to be optimizing a list of 10 items in a select input, right? So everything has context. You cannot apply the same type of yeah, you get what I mean, like just not to, but I think it's so that's why, right? I would much rather focus on domain, on system level design questions than that shit, right? How do I design an event emitter? Like some of those things actually are useful. How do I design a notification system, you know? That sort of stuff. You actually, there's a chance you might stumble. Hello from Russia. Good evening, UFC. How you doing, buddy? On YouTube. Yeah. But that's just my just how I think. That's all. I see. Did I kind of overdid the size of this? I think I have, right? Maybe I went crazy there. Did I not? Yeah, I think I did. Have you ever thought how would you handle the channel blowing up? What do you mean, N? Which channel? I'm not sure I follow. Have you ever thought of how would you handle the channel blowing up? Which channel? I'm sorry. Rav, good evening, buddy. How's life? Oh, I see. Sorry. Yeah. Right now I moderate things. Right now it's mostly kind people who are actually there, right? Oh, Rav, been there, done that, buddy. Yeah. Yeah, you're certainly happy, aren't you? When it comes to moderation, right? I mean, I haven't thought about it, right? I mean, I have set up AppSmith, something like Retool, if you have ever built like dashboards for your sales team or your customer success team, right? So I have AppSmith that I use for programming network. I'm obviously not gonna waste my time building dashboards, because for me, for moderation, that's a huge waste of time because it provides no value for you guys. So I do it manually now, right? Yeah, somebody asked how would I handle like bad shit, and manually for now, right? There's no, again, keep in mind, right? This product might never ever become anything big enough, or it might have, or maybe it will, right? So I'm not, I'm not deluding myself. I'm just consistent, continuous. I show up when I can. We improve things in small incremental steps, and that's it, right? So if one day there's so many users and there's so much bad content, I'm sure that I would find the way to solve it, right? But I don't prematurely do things when there's nothing to, for example, moderate in this case. I'm not gonna spend now 5-6 streams building some AI thing or some cron job that automatically nukes things or whatever, because it might happen one day. Because if I do that, then I just might as well do 20 other things and prematurely optimize them, and they might never happen, right? So yeah, exactly. I already do that, right? So in a way, but it's a good question, right? It's a good question. But yeah, it's a very hard task. You can be you know, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever, bad stuff appears there for some time, and there's honestly very little you can do about it, right? Instantly, right? I mean, for example, one thing that I'm doing right now, let me show you actually. So if I go to GitHub, right? So what I'm doing right now, because I have isomorphic validation, I'm using AJV, another JSON validator. So I'm using the same validators in both my API and my frontend, right? And I can show you one thing. No, it's not this. Yeah, here it is, right? So if you take a look at this thing, this is actually public, right? You can even use it yourself if you want, right? I wrote this in a stream, as you can see, 4 or 5 months ago. If we go in here, right, and if we go into, those are the custom validators for my AJV, right? I have something called secure string, right? I have a validator that's used across whole programmer network, front and back, and it's called secure string, right? And give me a second. Keywords, yeah. So is secure string, right? So this validator is used across the whole programmer network, right? So if you go to programmer network and try to say shit here, and actually it's unclear now if, yeah, that kind of sucks. It's unclear if right now actually I'm applying that validator here. Yeah, that's actually bad. So we need to do that. It's good. But if I go and say new article, shit, yeah, okay. And also we have to do that. If we try to say shit there, right? You can see profanity is not allowed. Please remove the following words, shit, right? Because I've integrated the profanity kind of type of thing, I have a list of bad words. And then this is secure string, so you can see get bad words thing here. So you get what I mean? So I had that validation in mind already, and at least you can't create content. But of course, now what you could do, you can say s.h.i.t, right? So it's a very hard thing to solve. If someone with malicious intent comes, you can always find a way, right? So you really need machine learning for that and stuff like that. Otherwise, you cannot solve it using code, right? There's no chance. And fuck, actually, we need this. This is really bad. Wait, I need to do that right away. Yeah, exactly. Wait, where are my meetups? Okay. Yeah, actually, yeah. So we need to clean this up from here. Sorry, I'm just because past couple of streams we refactored a lot of this stuff. So yeah, so this no longer actually is necessary. Here, that's going to be good for our dynamic imports, because now the stuff, the front-facing stuff that users are actually loading is becoming smaller and smaller. Get meetups, that's, I suppose that's okay. We can get rid of this. And yeah, it's super important stuff. So we need to, wait a minute. Yeah, so we'll see about that in a moment, but give me a second here. So, so if I do this and then we go, so this is just for those of you who are new here. A couple of streams ago, I started building this new dashboard, right? Because we're reaching a point where we're building enough of features. So this is a new dashboard. We had a very different looking dashboard like a couple of days ago. So past 3 streams, I built this whole well, refactored the dashboard to say, did a different UI, right? Okay, so if we go to articles, right, and dashboard articles here. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. So let's say here, write an article. And my as some of you might notice, right, I'm obsessed by simplicity. So I want this platform to be inherently simple. What language are you using? Isn't there like a stack thing? Yeah. For quantum narration, baby, do a Reddit structure with up and down votes. Well, we do have that Rav already. We have heart and broken heart, right? So we kind of have that. It's just the icon. Actually, we should probably change those icons to something else, right? Okay, but give me a second, guys. I just need a moment here. Very good point, man. I should probably remove it, to be very frank. Yeah. We have it's a service worker. Yeah, it's a service worker telling you, hey, manage article. Okay, that's a bit awkward. I see. Wait a minute. Write new article. Okay. Manage article, new article. Yeah. No, it's a service worker. So I have a progressive web app for Programmer Network, right? And when you push a new code, a service worker has cached the old files. So it needs to have the new files, right? It's a classical issue with caching that you could say that it's an issue with caching. So one huge downside of service workers and offline support is that, yeah, it's very difficult to trigger it, to tell it, hey man, don't load the old files, right? Exactly, right. So that's the bummer a bit, right? Yeah, this is the bottle. I've been to Stockholm recently. I went to Stockholm and to Google Web Summit. I went with my team, and I spoke to MongoDB folks there. They spammed me because they wanted to speak to me and my company. So they gave me this MongoDB. It's a metal case. You can see it says MongoDB. Yeah. Where's the GitHub mug? GitHub mug is in my kitchen, right back behind me there in the, yeah. State.type, what? Oh, okay, so we actually don't need this state, yeah, I think. Shit. Just give me 2 seconds. Yeah, that's actually fine, right? So why is it? Give me 2 seconds. Navigate, manage, article, manage. I mean, it's just a bottle, right? There's nothing special about it. It's just bottle, which is metal, right? That's the only feature. It's just yeah, has no other features. It doesn't pour the water itself. No, it's a good one. It's a good state.type. So why do we? Okay, this is a little bit awkward now. Give me a second. Hey Alex, I always wondered, how does the water from a metal bottle taste? I've heard that it's yeah, just give me a second here. I'm a bit it's a little bit annoying. So let me see what's happening and why is this as such. Navigate to new article. So yeah, so it seems that I am okay. Wow. All right. Well, yeah. Okay. Sure. It's just a little bit strange. It's a little bit strange, honestly. Give me a second here. Courses, what was it? Articles, right? Yeah, so yeah, that's then not good. That's okay. We'll need to, so yeah, we went through one level of generalization. Once we kind of Anton, thank you very much, buddy, for passing by. I wish you well and keep on hacking and cracking and all of that stuff, dude. I wish you well. Thank you very much, buddy. Thanks for coming by. I very much appreciate it. Okay, so that's great. This is the API. Okay, let's see. Is did Cloudflare actually resolve their issues? We're still seeing gradual improvements in working restore functionality. You guys see that my deployment did it succeed yet? No. It's been deploying for like 37 minutes. Wow. Okay. Yeah. So I can see. So yeah. So it doesn't seem we're gonna deploy in the next few minutes for sure, because it seems that those fellas are having infrastructure issues at Cloudflare. So let's give them a break. Okay. So that's great. So yeah. So we missed that before. We missed this, and we still haven't actually finalized it. Course as well. Meetups. Organize a meetup. Create. Organize a meetup, create. So yeah, so we should actually be able to do that. Let's actually just, so this is just the roundup from before. So let's say dashboard meetups, right? So we have this. Meetup form. Let's take a look at that. Yeah, this is because, yeah, we have cover image uploads and a lot of that stuff. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Then we have to go here, really, right? And then course form. Create meetup. Yeah, okay, so that should be sufficient, right? But this is not sufficient, right? So let's actually go to our, let me go to my API. And let's go to the meetup resource, right? So let's go here and controller and then create meetup. Yeah, so it's this fella over here, right? What do I return from here? Actually, we can just take a look at our Swagger if I'm defining my stuff properly. Wait, it always opens on a wrong screen, literally. Ah, we actually had it to open meetups. Let's take a look at our Swaggerio here, our best friend. So we do get a response 201, so that's how I built it, so that's amazing. Yeah. So with that said, right, if we get over here, we can wait for that response, right, again. So it's data, and then we can navigate to that newly created course, right? If that's the case, let me actually see. If we take a look at the dashboard here, we have courses and course ID to get, no, we're talking about the meetups, right? Ah, shit, okay. Well, I'm just thinking a bit. Because if we take a look at the courses feature that we have, the courses dashboard looks like this. Basically, you just create the course, then you create sections and lectures and update them, delete them, whatever. With meetups whatsoever, you create a meetup entity. Then you have to schedule events, as we did, organize an event, right? And we want to move this to the dashboard, so we don't want to be doing this in here, right? So we'll need to move the event creation there, because this is kind of nice with the way that I built it before, because it's in the context of a meetup. Like, hey, organize an event for this meetup in here. I really want to join. Exactly. I think it's going to be a great one. It's going to be the best meetup ever. Yeah, so this is the stuff I want to move all the CMS type of operations to the dashboard. So a couple of streams ago, I started moving all the non-viewable stuff, non-admin stuff to the dashboard. So if you're wondering, this is all a part of it. I wouldn't say refactor, but rather restructuring of, because you know now we have meetups and courses and other features, right? And I've noticed that there's too much CMS type of stuff in the front-facing stuff, right? In the front-facing UI. So essentially what this whole big thing is about is moving it all to the dashboard. So whenever you want to create something, either write an article or a course or a meetup or whatever, you do that through the dashboard, right? And that's kind of that's the bigger story of what this past few streams were about, right? And then so we need to, if I go to the meetups here, right? The button used to be here, like create meetup. So I'm moving all of that to the dashboard. So it's gonna simplify the logic in those views. I don't have to ask, is it the author, blah, blah, blah. We only will be basically need to ask if user is a member already, and if it's authenticated, right? So this sort of stuff is gonna go away. Yeah, the dashboard is going to be this content management system, as it should be, right? So you shouldn't need to wonder, hey, where do I actually? It's kind of disconnected, and not disconnected. It's more to say it's inconsistent if you can create one type of resource in the context of that feature, and then the other one is in the dashboard. The other one, right? That's not a good UX. So you will know that no matter what, I want to write an article or a course or organize a meetup or create a project, you will do that in the dashboard, right? And the dashboard, I tried to make it completely dumb, just not dumb, but UX super simple. So they're all the same, almost the layout is the same, the resource is different, right? And then if you want to edit the course, as you can see here, or a meetup or your article, whatever. And then not to mention that this makes the product slightly more efficient as well, because we're using dynamic imports. That means that users who are not logged in, for instance, they will never need to load unnecessary JavaScript, right? Because now this logic is going to be part of a different bundle, the bundle that actually you don't ever load unless you go to the dashboard, right? So there's also a slight technical implication in there that we're not going to be shipping. We're going to be shipping less bytes right? There's also that, right? Yeah. All right. Yeah, I think so this is the plan. I think so. Tomorrow I'm not gonna stream. It's Friday. I want to just drink some champagne with my wife and enjoy the evening. On Saturday and Sunday I will stream, just FYI. Give me just 1 second. Let me do this. So before I leave you guys, as always, before every stream, let's see if there's any questions. Anyone has anything that I can help with, especially the new people. If so, please ask now. I'm happy to. What do you think about the GitHub approach to loading content? If I'm not mistaken, they ship HTML back from Ajax calls. What do I think about that? I mean, again, it really depends. It's rather why, not. I don't bother myself too much with technicalities, right? Technicalities for me personally are always the last thing I think about. For me, it's rather why, what does it solve, and what is the value of it, right? So it's rather, I'm sure that those guys at GitHub, there's great engineers, and I'm sure that they have some reasoning on why they do that, right? So exactly, they must have a reason. So I'm sure that they're not randomly doing that. I don't have such a reason, right? So I cannot establish any opinion based on that, because, right, it doesn't matter if it's run by Microsoft. I mean, there is nothing wrong with Microsoft. Is a very different company today. They have done great things, and we have to give credit where it's due, right? We cannot just hate on Microsoft just because everybody's. That's not. I don't think I don't think that mentality helps, right? Microsoft has done bad things in the past and has done a lot of amazing things in the past as well, and it's doing really good things today. So I don't think it's related much to GitHub. Hasn't been, their tech stacks are so bad. I don't think that C# is bad, man. I don't think that TypeScript necessarily is bad, right? They have done a lot of great stuff, right? I don't know, maybe, right? Maybe. We would need to get into longer discussion about that, but maybe it is. But yeah. So it depends, right? Every company, I guess. You know how they say, right? Opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one, right? So at the end of the day, as I always say in this stream, the only thing that matters is that you're building products and that people are using them, right? Of course, that us as software developers, we should be caring about technology, and that's our job. Our job is to care about technology, but it's important to understand that your customers know nothing about technology, hence they don't really care what it is. They care that things work, right? But yeah, it's not that, yeah. Everything, if I talk to 10 people on my stream, right, 10 of them are gonna say that 10 different things suck. That's my point, right? So it's all about experience, perception, and various other things, right? So it's either that all things suck, or more likely that none of the things actually suck, right? So that's why, right? Yeah, but C# is probably one of the 5 languages I would pick to write, right? Go is number 1, Golang is number 1, JavaScript is number 2, because I can write JavaScript really well. And when you can do that, then your JavaScript can be a beautiful language. The biggest problem with JavaScript is that it doesn't help you much. It doesn't imprison you like Golang does. That's why Go is a great language, because it doesn't allow you to have opinions. There's a Go way, there's a idiomatic way, and that's how you write it, right? And then C# is probably somewhere on the 3rd spot or 4th spot, right? C++ is also maybe. But yeah, Go is a beautiful language. Exactly. How about Java? I mean, again, you're not gonna get any negativity on languages from me, right? Again, I mean, again, we have to be careful, right? To be too critical of things, right? Because there are multi-billion-dollar businesses running on PHP and Java and Pascal and COBOL and even Visual Basic, right? So we need to be careful, right, about those statements because, you know, internet used to run on those languages for decades, right? So nothing really sucks, right? Nothing really sucks, right? We can have opinions and we might dislike it. I dislike Java. I dislike any language that's object-oriented. And I'm happy that C# is moving away from it, right? But I'm not a fan of Java, but I cannot say that it sucks, especially because I have no competence to allow myself to say that it sucks. Because only thing that I give myself, I'm not saying that you should think this way, but you will notice if you watch my stream regularly that I will only share opinion on things that I've used in production. Not for a local Hello World project, not for some side project. I only share opinions on things that I've used in production for a reasonable amount of time with my team, with other people and other developers. So that's why I say maybe some of those things are bad, maybe they're not, but I don't do this for people on Twitch. I do this for me. I don't want to allow myself to form opinions on things that I'm not competent about, because I'm gonna the only person that's gonna be disadvantaged is myself, right? So that's why I say everything is bad and nothing is bad, depending who you ask, right? And I don't think that, yeah, maybe this Twitch culture, the influencer culture is you know, it craves for drama, right? When you look at most of those popular streamers or YouTubers, most of it is drama, right? If you go to this guy who writes Vim, most of his streams are about shitting on something, right? And I get it. The guy made the business out of it, and that's what people want. So he gives them what they want. I get that. It's not a critique, right? But I don't like that. That's not me. I don't want to do that, right? Yeah, for sure, Rav. For sure, right? Don't take me wrong. I'm not saying that what you're saying is right or wrong, right? It's just I think it's more about articulation rather than I think we're very prone to maybe using a little bit, all of us, myself included, if anyone, I'm the worst at that, right? But we're very prone to very emotionally reacting to, it's like, yeah, this fucking sucks, right? But sometimes we just mean, but sometimes we just mean, well, okay, maybe this would be better, like you just said, right? It is live, yes. This is live, yeah. Somebody on YouTube is asking if this live. So, but yeah, this is how I it's just food for thought. You guys can take it as food for thought as well. That's what I've learned. I try to not form opinions. This is, again, please, nothing to do with you, Rav, or anyone else. It's just, you will notice if you come back to the stream every now and then that if I haven't used something, I don't allow myself to form any sort of opinion, because I would be giving people here a wrong impression. And I think that's a huge disadvantage, especially to junior developers. A lot of junior developers today are influenced in a really, really bad way. And I see many of them coming here with influenced in a really bad way. It's like, hey, should I even write JavaScript? I've been told that I should write Rust because Rust is the best. And it's like, it's a very dangerous, right? Because when I was learning to program many years ago, this shit didn't exist, right? So you weren't so like somebody says tribes, right? This type of shit didn't exist to this level, right? Yeah, Zig is 200% faster. Exactly. Evening, Matty, my friend. Good evening. So yeah, I don't think it's healthy. I don't think it's healthy for community. I don't think it's healthy for new people in the industry, right? Because there's a lot of people who get misguided, discouraged, you know, oh, should I even write web pages? I've been told that everything is bad there and that nothing works properly, right? It's not healthy, man, right? I don't think it's the way to go. But again, I get it. This is what viewers want. People want drama. People want the hate, right? Again, if you don't trust me, just go to majority of those popular fellas who do this sort of stuff, and you'll see the chat. It's basically always shitting on something or someone, right? It's always just yeah. Most of those videos are just like crapping on things, right? So that's just how it is. That's what it is. Yeah, Rav, 100%, man. That's why I say I don't think that younger fellas and we need juniors, right? I think it's very important that that people with fresh minds come into the industry all the time, because we need new ideas, right? I mean, when you look at some groundbreaking things in our industry, you would think that they've been invented always just by some experts, right? But it's not true. There's a lot of things that juniors have came up with because they weren't already encapsulated in a specific thought process, right? Exactly. Yeah, that's also true, for sure. That's what it is, man. That's how it is. But yeah, that's what it is, and what can we do, right? You can try to influence people around you. And do best to them and help them. If you can't help them, at least don't do the opposite, right? Don't put them in a disadvantaged position. And I like train. Yeah. That's what it is, fellas. Well, I think I'm gonna head off, guys. I can hear my wife is still awake. So we started watching this series on Netflix. There's like 6 or 7 episodes in different color. You can watch them in any order. And we have 3 or 4 more episodes to watch. And we watch one every evening, so... Who knows, man, right? Who knows? I'm not a front-end developer, you know. I'm a very, very full-stack developer. Yeah. Been working. My career started in 2008. I started as a Cisco engineer. I was programming Cisco devices in C. And you can find my LinkedIn somewhere and then take a look at it. If I was purely front-end, this platform wouldn't exist. Yeah. The platform that we built wouldn't exist today. Yeah. Yeah, I am tutorials. I am on Twitch. Yeah, that's why. That's where most people write. Yeah. So that's. Can you rate my portfolio? I cannot now. I have to go. Sorry. React and Tailwind are the part of the stack. That's the front end. Yes. And then there's Fastify and Postgres and Redis and Hetzner and Prometheus, Grafana, Loki, Logrotate, and hundreds of other things which cannot fit the title, right? I just try to put in the title something that I assume that might attract as many people as possible, right? And yeah, I don't know how to put it. It's the same title for a year now, right? I don't fiddle with that much, right? Oh, yeah. All right, fellas. Josh, come next time. I'm ending the stream now, so I'm happy to rate your portfolio another time, but I have to go now. So it's 11 p.m. here, so I'm gonna go to bed in an hour. So yeah. Breadcrumb, thank you very much, buddy, for being here. Dune and all of you guys, Rav, everybody, Lonely, Verfocoste, whatever. Thank you, buddy. Thank you, everybody. I mean, thank you for interaction. Thank you for statements, questions, and stuff. I find it incredibly motivating to come back streaming when there's people like just chatting and having fun. So that's honestly 50% of why I'm here. So have a good one, guys. I wish you best. Be well, stay well, do something good for yourselves as always. And I'll see you guys another time, okay? All the best, fellas. Peace out. Cheers.